What's the darkest thing a teacher ever did to you? My art teacher, Miss Williams, seemed cool at first. She had tattoos covering her arms and told us to express ourselves freely. But there was one unspoken rule: never question her critiques. I loved drawing anime-style characters. Every week I'd submit my best work, spending hours perfecting the shading and details. And every week she'd tear it apart in front of the entire class. "This isn't real art," she'd announce loudly. "Try something more mature next time." Meanwhile, she'd praise the most basic still-life drawings from other students. Tommy would sketch an apple in 5 minutes and get showered with compliments about his natural talent. I started wondering if she just hated my artistic style. The favoritism was obvious. During class critiques, she'd spend 20 minutes analyzing Sarah's simple flower painting, but would barely glance at my detailed character designs. When I stayed after school for extra help, she'd tell me I needed to grow beyond cartoon nonsense. Then, I noticed something really strange. During our monthly school art show, my pieces kept mysteriously disappearing from the submission pile. I'd drop them off in the designated box, but somehow they never made it to the display boards. When I asked Miss Williams about it, she'd shrug and claim they weren't exhibition quality for our school's reputation. My friend Marcus worked as a student aide in the main office. One day he pulled me aside with some crazy information. He'd overheard Miss Williams on the phone talking about contest submissions. Apparently, she'd been taking my rejected artwork and entering it in local competitions under her nephew Jake's name. I couldn't believe it at first. The same anime piece she'd called childish garbage in front of my classmates had apparently won second place at the county fair. She'd been stealing my work and letting her nephew take credit while telling me I had no talent. I decided to set up a test to prove what was happening. Through a final semester project worth half our grade, I created 2 completely different pieces. One was my usual anime style, featuring a complex battle scene with multiple characters. The other was a realistic portrait that I secretly commissioned from my older sister, who was majoring in fine arts at college. The plan was simple. I submitted the commissioned realistic piece as my own work to Ms. Williams. Meanwhile, I had my sister enter my original anime artwork under her name in the upcoming state high school art competition. When our final projects were graded, my realistic portrait got an A+ and was immediately selected for the school's main hallway gallery. Ms. Williams praised it as my breakthrough into serious artistic expression. She even recommended it for the district showcase. But the real surprise came 2 weeks later. My anime piece, entered under my sister's name, won first place in the entire state competition and came with a $1,000 scholarship prize. The judges called it innovative and technically masterful. When the local newspaper interviewed the winner, they published my sister's photo standing next to my artwork. The headline read, "Local student wins state art prize." Ms. Williams saw the article in the teacher's lounge and went completely pale. That afternoon, she called me into her classroom. Her hands were shaking as she asked if I knew anything about the winning piece. I told her it looked familiar, maybe like something I'd submitted months ago that she'd rejected. The next day, my sister called the principal and explained everything. She brought copies of my original sketches and progress photos showing the creation process. When they searched Ms. Williams' desk, they found a folder full of student artwork and contest entry forms with Jake's name on them. She resigned the following week. The principal told my parents there had been irregularities in the art program that were being investigated. My sister donated the prize money to the school's art supplies budget. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people expose themselves.